College Football Update with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Loosemore.
College football storylines. We touched on a story a week ago. My dear Catherine came on here and talked about her guys and, talked about Michigan State and what's going on with them currently. And currently, looks like he's going to get fired, Alex. It looks like they're going to give him the axe. I don't think any information came out that changed things. What are your thoughts on this finally going through that process?
I think this is a cop-out to get their money back. I think this is fully what it is because the more I look into it, that phone call where they're saying all this stuff transpired, came out that it was a 36-minute phone call, and it didn't happen at the end.
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me all that was non-consensual, and you stayed on the phone that long after?
Right.
That's a little questionable. I think this is just a way for them to get their money back, and I don't think this is the end of it, because if they do fire him here, I'd put money on the fact that Mel Tucker's going to sue them and go after them for it. Okay. Because realistically, like we said, we alluded to that last week. The guy went 11-2. You guys jumped out ahead of everything and gave him the contract. Respect, but then he hasn't had the recruits. He really has not lived up to what I guess they expected from him. Going, I think, winning 5 games each of the last 2 years, maybe something like that.
Yeah. So he's really struggled. But at the same time, you're like, well, this year he didn't start off awful. You know what I mean? He started off 2-0. I mean, it gets lesser competition, but still, you didn't even know if you're going to have a quarterback.
Michigan isn't a slouch.
Well, right. They haven't played as great this year as I expected. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see, because I kind of agree with you. Nathan's saying politics. Look, at the end of the day, we all feel the same way, whether you like Michigan State or not. That contract that they gave him after one season,
it was insane.
It was ridiculous. I'm sorry. In my opinion, he hadn't warranted that contract, and for them to give that to him was on their part. But now it looks like they're trying to come back and renege and say, this happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like Kat said, I think it's kind of rough because of the fact that there is a history of that. So this is kind of something you can throw and say, hey, we don't want this here. But it's like, did that really happen? This ain't the same thing. So,
yeah, I totally understand why they're doing it. Like you said, with the backstory, with everything going on. But at the end of the day, you're firing somebody with just cause, but we don't know if it is just cause.
Yeah.
Right? You're deeming it way too early. You scheduled a hearing for, if I'm not mistaken, it was early October, and now you're just going to get rid of him before it. This is super questionable to me. And I mean, I like Mel Tucker as a coach. I was kind of sad when he went to Michigan State, because I was like, damn, he might build something. Obviously, it hasn't necessarily continued that way, but if it comes out that he isn't in the wrong for this, then I feel so bad for Mel Tucker. But if it is all true, then he deserves it. So it's like I said last week, it's very much a wait and see game.
Eric said, not sure I buy into the witch hunt. Either way, consensual or not. Why is your married head coach pursuing the person that brought in to teach players about harassment?
Yeah, well, and that's a very questionable part of it too. But the other part that kind of confuses me is, from my understanding, this happened months and months ago. We're talking back March, April, somewhere in there. They were still texting back and forth. She sent him Happy Father's Day text, stuff like that. She was sending, they were going back and forth. And then the timing of it is really weird, because it was once they postponed her little seminar with the team to January. I And I'm not trying to like defend Tucker here, but I'm just like, I want to just toss everything out there because what Tucker did, whether it was consensual or not, still weird. Let's get that straight. That's,
absolutely.
That's something you shouldn't really do. But it's a really I'm not saying it that way. It's a really weird.
There you go. Thank you. In lieu of keeping this thing PG, yes, it is really. It's a weird subject. It's crazy. And hey, we'll at the end of the day, I was always taught whatever is done in the dark will come to the light. As we've seen, the text messages are showing one story, and the university saying X, Y, and Z. We'll see what happens. But right now, he is in the process of being fired.